Welcome back to State Farm Stadium, the only retractable roof stadium in the NFL with a grass field. Now, Friday afternoon, they roll the field in from the dry desert heat into the air conditioning here inside, and it works perfectly. Slight difference in temperatures between inside and out, and to bring you up to date, more on the Seahawks, here's Jen Hale.
Dick, you guys were talking about Chris Carson out with that right hip injury. He did try to make a go of it. He came out for about a 30-minute pregame warm-up today, but you could visibly see how uncomfortable he was cutting and sprinting on that hip. So Pete Carroll tells me instead Rashad Penny and Mike Davis are going to split the load unless, of course, somebody gets really hot. CJ Prosise also active if needed, even though he's dealing with that ab injury. This makes the return of two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Doug Baldwin all that more important. He's been out for 2 weeks with that sprained right MCL. Pete Carroll tells me today they want to save him. He will be on a snap count. They want to use him for red zone situations, third down, and keep him fresh for the end of the game, Dick.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. The home team has not won since 2014. In the last 5 games, the Seahawks have won here 4 times, and they had 1 tie. Well, the Cardinals won the toss and they defer. Seattle will receive Rashad Penny, who's going to play running back, returning from the 1-yard line for the Seahawks. And he brings it out just shy of the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson, with his 100th career start, started every game of his career, and his first start was on this very field. And coming off his best game, beating the Cowboys last week, Mark.
Yeah, they really played efficiently. Russell played efficient, especially converting third downs. The key, keep it third down and 6-. Things are going to work out for you in this Seattle offense.
From the 24, and Mike Davis gets the call as the starting tailback. And it's going to be Davis off the right side, trying to turn the corner, and he gets good yardage, still battling for more. And he is ridden out of bounds by Deone Bucannon. Take a look at the Seahawks offense, and of course getting Doug Baldwin back is going to be huge. It's going to help. Not easy to defend the likes of Baldwin and Tyler Lockett.
No, you put both those guys on the same side as well, and that's a dynamic duo on one edge. Both can play from the slot or outside. They're both equally adept at those 2 positions.
After the 7-yard gain, and it's going to be Davis again, and he has the first down, and he has Russell Wilson for a while was out front for a block, and a good gain by Davis, bringing the Seahawks close to midfield. A terrific gain by Davis, who started the last 5 games last year.
And here are the issues. Boston right here off the edge has him in the backfield. This is Arizona Cardinal football to this point. Mistake after mistake after mistake. You've got a chance to tackle him in the backfield. Now all of a sudden, first down and 10, missed tackle, big gain.
16 yards. George Fant, number 74, is an extra offensive lineman in there for Seattle. And again, it's Mike Davis. And Davis just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Deone Bucannon is there to make the tackle. Taking a look at the Cardinal defense, they have made the switch from a 4-3 to the 3-4, but they sometimes play extra defensive backs.
Yes, they do, and Marcus Golden is a guy that's key here off the edge. Coming off the ACL, got his first start this season last week. Felt good, grew in confidence, ready to be explosive off the edge.
Rashad Penny, who you talked about, the #1 draft pick, has come in the game a tailback on 2nd down and 10 and movement in the line. And it looks like a false start penalty.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
John Hussey, the referee, so 5 yards marked off against the Seahawks. Pete Carroll is going for the 90th victory. That would tie him with Mike Holmgren as the all-time winningest coach in Seattle's sparkling history. Now 2nd down and 15. And here is Penny with the carry. And he gets into Cardinal territory, but before Antoine Bethea brings him down. Good pickup of 9 yards, bringing up 3rd down.
And, you know, you look at the pulls, you look at things coming in here, guys coming around. Rashad Penny just being patient. He's an exceptional athlete. but a great trap right there by Sweezy, knocking people on the ground. Rashard Penny cuts up underneath that trap block, gets big yardage right here to make it third down and manageable. And this is where the Seahawks need to do their best work. Third down and 6 miles.
They have run the ball on every play until now with the empty backfield and 3 receivers to the bottom. Third down and 6. Russell Wilson's pass is caught, but shy of the first down is Baldwin. And fourth down is coming up on the 5-yard pickup, so the Cardinals get the job done now on their first defensive effort of the game.
And we always talk about getting to the sticks. You're in a bunch formation. You throw a couple underneath routes, try to run the coverage off. You've got to get beyond the sticks. You've got to get to the first down mark. That time, just a yard short of the first down where you caught the ball. You couldn't advance it.
So Michael Dixon, who's a definite weapon, is the punter for the Seattle Seahawks. He can flip the field with ease and has so far in his rookie season. Rookie from Texas. And there is Christian Kirk calling for the fair catch. Does the job again as he gets it inside the 10. So Josh Rosen, who's the youngest quarterback ever to play for the Cardinals, will be coming in with the offense when we return. Josh Rosen told us, "I'll try not to get caught up in all the hoopla. I want to play ball like I did in the 3rd grade," as he starts from the 7-yard line. His first snap as a starter in the NFL. David Johnson brings it out past the 10-yard line. Trey Flowers making the tackle. Mike McCoy is the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals as we look at their offensive unit.
And Mike McCoy is a guy that said, hey, listen, we're going to run the ball, but we're not putting the gloves on Josh Rosen. He's going to take his shots. We're going to try to get it down the football field, but plays, we need to possess the football. Nice start on the first down run.
Second down and 5. In motion is the tight end Ricky Seals-Jones. And they go to Johnson again, and David Johnson will get a first down as he gets it up past the 15 to the 18. Bobby Wagner making the tackle. Take a look at the Seattle defense, and this is going to be a pretty good test for Josh Rosen, especially going against this secondary mark.
Yeah, everybody talks about Earl Thomas, but Bradley McDougald, the opposite safety, Earl Thomas, is balling out of control. Those are Pete Carroll's words. He's got interceptions. He punched out a fumble, 2 interceptions, and he is flying around not only in coverage, but in run support as he gets down toward the line of scrimmage.
So David Johnson with 6 yards and a first down. Very dangerous of the Seahawks secondary. Chase Edmonds in the backfield along with David Johnson, and the pass is going to be wide, intended for Johnson coming out of the backfield, and they had Justin Coleman, a nickelback, defending him there. Steve Wilkes, and not afraid to pull the trigger last week in an effort to beat the Chicago Bears. And he thought his team got a little complacent after they had a 14-0 lead early against Chicago.
Steve prides himself in this team being smart, being disciplined, playing with intelligence and discipline, and they just didn't do it. It was a real letdown yesterday, but they came back to work this week, or last week, excuse me. They came back to work this week and really put their nose to the grind, so we'll see how it pays off.
Second down and 10. Play fake to Johnson, and this pass is going to be dropped. Right there was Larry Fitzgerald. He couldn't hold on to it, and he dropped the ball. A rare thing for the great Fitzgerald, and that'll bring up third down and 10.
Well, they bring pressure right here in the middle, and tight end does a great job of picking it up. That's Ricky Seals-Jones coming across the formation to pick up Bobby Wagner, the blitzer. That's putting on the money in traffic right there. Larry Fitzgerald, one of those guys, we're just not accustomed to seeing him ever drop the ball. And Josh Rosen is a guy that wants to get Larry Fitzgerald in tune. He wants to get him involved in this game, and obviously you'd always like to get Larry as your security blanket.
He said he's been a big brother to him on and off the field, has Fitzgerald. But now looking at third down and 10, and back at the 10, and the whistle blows. Penalty there.
First charge timeout, Arizona.
No penalty flag, but a timeout called by Arizona early.
The clock operator, please reset the game clock.
And you wonder what they saw
please.
to call that timeout. So we look at Josh Rosen, who was born and raised in Manhattan Beach, California. His parents were nationally ranked ice dancers, and his sister Beatrice was a national champion tennis player at Emory. He was a tennis prodigy as a boy, ranked #1 in Southern California, age group at 12. He was the #1 rated quarterback in the 2015 recruiting class and started for 3 years at UCLA. Cardinals made him the number 10 overall pick, and he was the second UCLA QB all-time selected in the top 10. And our colleague Troy Aikman, the other, 1989, #1 overall to the Cowboys, and the rest was history with 3 Super Bowls for him.
Yeah, Troy, it worked out pretty well for Troy. You know, I think that kid's going to make it.
It still is.
Yeah.
4th down and 10 after the early timeout used by the Cardinals. Rosen getting the pressure, and down he goes inside the 10, and it was Jarran Reed with his 3rd sack of the season, a loss of 9 yards, and forcing the Cardinals to punt from their end zone.
Well, 3rd down and 10, you never want to be in these situations, and this is terrible. But right here, you're one-on-one with Jarran right there, and that's just a simple slap move. Iupati gets beat on the slap move, and there you see him up into that line of scrimmage. Jarran Reed getting a great pass rush.
Andy Lee will be kicking, and the dangerous Tyler Lockett giving Seattle good field position if he can just catch the ball. Now he's giving ground. And here is Lockett, and he gives a lot of ground, maybe as much as 10 yards. Still good field position, but they're on the 38-yard line, and Dale Buchanan with a great special teams play after the kick by Andy Lee. Well, the Seahawks haven't been known for quick starts. Looking at those numbers, and they came up empty in their first possession. They start here from the 38-yard line with Mike Davis, the tailback. And Davis off the left side and gaining good yardage. Corey Peters making the stop, but 6 yards on 1st down for Mike Davis.
There is Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer, offensive coordinator, talked about his 6 starters, the 6 starters of run plays, the 6 starters of the pass plays. Right now, they're just trying to build a rhythm, just physically trying to dominate the line of scrimmage by running the ball.
And they go to Davis again. He'll have the 1st down. Mike Davis, by the way, the 2nd leading rusher last year for the Seahawks. Chandler Jones brings him down. They're keeping it on the ground here.
And you look at just the overall, just coming off the ball, getting great movement. Dale Buchanan right there gets cut in the hole. Jump over Sweezy. Sweezy's made a couple of great blocks so far. He's a little bit touched, he's a little crazy, and get him into a rhythm, and he'll set the tone.
From the 48, only the 2nd pass, and it's to the tight end Will Dissly. And Antoine Bethea knocks him out of bounds. Dissly's slow getting up, but it's time for a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Dick. Everyone on Baker Mayfield watch. 2nd drive of the game, and not how he wants this one to go. Through Callaway's hands, Garyon Conley returns this one, his 1st interception and score for Oakland. They're up 7-0 early. Dick, Mark, and Jeff.
Thank you, Carissa. And Will Dissly is still on the field. The rookie from Washington was shaken up, and Nick Vannett will go and replace him. Dissly, who came in with a great reputation as a blocker, showed in the first game against the Broncos that he can catch as well and run.
Yeah, he has been a real treat for them, and it just looks like he planted his foot there while he's trying to take on the tackle of Bethea, and they're checking out his knee right here, as you can see.
They only dressed 2 tight ends today, did the Seahawks. We'll be right back. Well, this is the last thing you ever want to see. Will Dissly being carted off with his teammates around him. The rookie from Washington, who has the longest pass reception this year, 66 yards out of the game. Where Russell Wilson had some time and on the run completes the pass to Doug Baldwin, and Baldwin at the 25-yard line is brought down by Patrick Peterson. But a good gain for the Seahawks to the 25, picking up 18.
And that's the connection that Doug Baldwin and what Seattle has missed with Doug Baldwin and Russell Wilson being together. As Russell starts to scramble, Doug Baldwin breaks his route, whips back out to the outside, and picks up that first down. That is being almost mind melded together between Baldwin and Russell Wilson all this time they spent together in Seattle.
These are his first 2 catches of the season. And here is Wilson under pressure, and he flips it to Davis. And Davis gets 5 yards to the 20 when Josh Bynes, the middle linebacker, comes in. So a good ad-lib by Russell Wilson.
Yeah, blitz off the edge. You're free. You're scot-free. He is able to improvise, and Al Holcomb, the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals, called him Houdini in a helmet. And there you saw it right there. What is that? Sleight of hand, prestidigitation. You know, you avoid the blitz, you shovel it up to the running back, understanding where everybody is on the football field, where your escape plans are.
Here's Al Holcomb on the sideline. 2nd down and 5 from the 20-yard line. And Mike Davis will get the first down. And here's Russell Wilson blocking and diving into the end zone. No signal as of yet. Mike Davis had a block. No signal has been given yet by any of the officials. The Seahawks are going about business as if it were a touchdown.
Oh, and I love this right here. Look at Russell Wilson. Watch him go hunt this up right here. Look at that. Just, I mean, Antoine Bethea, you're never going to hear the end of that in meetings as he gets low and drives the blocker, or drives the tackler out of the back of the end zone as Mike Davis leaps over the end line for the touchdown.
20-yard touchdown run with his quarterback blocking in front. And they have checked the replay, and is it indeed a score? And Sebastian Janikowski on for the extra point, and the Seahawks getting good field position after a good defensive effort against the rookie Josh Rosen and Mike Davis. All the way, he has 57 yards already in 6 carries and a touchdown, but he can rest now.
Return to the Mac. Get him what it is, what it does, what it is, what it is.
6-play scoring drive for the Seahawks, and that is the 2nd rushing touchdown by a running back this season. It's notable because last year they only had 1 touchdown by a running back. So they're already ahead of that, and Mike Davis getting it, seeing a lot of action today along with Rashad Penny, with Chris Carson out with a hip injury. He carried the ball 32 times last week. Well, the Cardinal offense has been a real rough start for them. They've averaged just over 6 points per game, the fewest for the Cardinals since 1945. They've averaged 190 total yards per game, the fewest by any NFL team since the 2006 Red Raiders. And they punted 17 times, committed 7 turnovers, and have only put together 3 scoring drives. And Sam Bradford, who was signed to a healthy contract, coming over from Minnesota to lead the team, replaced by Josh Rosen. Bradford inactive today. Mike Glennon is the backup to Josh Rosen for this game. 1st and 10 from the 25. Only 1 wide receiver out there, and here's David Johnson trying to juke his way for yardage, and he picks up 3, and a flag is down. Ball is jarred loose, picked up by Seattle. And the Seahawks, Bradley McDougald, I think the Seahawks got the ball.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The penalty is holding. Offense number 85. That penalty is declined. First down.
So another bad break. Cardinals can't get it going, and there is Bradley McDougald, who my partner Mark Schlereth talked about in the opening, and in the opening, what a season he has had. Here's the fumble.
That's Flowers. That's Trey Flowers ripping the ball out. They have a competition in practice. Trey Flowers rips it out. McDougald right there. Johnny on the spot to pick it up. They are having a great start to the season early when it comes to turnovers, and this team so competitive in practice. They work on stripping the ball, they work on punching it out constantly. They've got a little competition between all those defensive backs. Look at, they're getting it done right now.
They had 7 interceptions. That's tied for the most in the league, and now they recover a fumble, trying to take advantage here. Here's Russell Wilson, and Wilson trying to get it to Brandon Marshall, who drops the ball. It would have been a first down for the Seahawks, if Marshall had held on. But that's been the story for the winless Cardinals so far this year. The turnover story. 7 giveaways, tied for second. Seattle with 8 takeaways, also tied for second in the league.
This game oftentimes comes down to momentum. And right now, obviously, Arizona has none. But if you get a stop here, you force a field goal attempt, all of a sudden you feel like you're back in this game, and that's what they have to focus on.
That would be a win for them. Meanwhile, Mike Davis can't get away from Marcus Golden, who returned last week for the first time this year. And Golden has been a fixture as a defensive end, great pass rusher. There is Rashad Penny coming back in the game for the Seahawks. They'll have a 3rd down and 8 from the Cardinal 25.
The Cardinals bring pressure. They'll do it on every down. They're about a 50% blitz team, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. So expect pressure coming at Russell Wilson on 3rd and long.
Third down and 8. And Wilson under pressure, getting away and completes the pass to Marshall. And Marshall will be tackled by Josh Bynes. And so the Cardinals so far have not gotten it going, but they do stop Seattle, forcing a field goal try. Kind of a win for them, Mark.
It's a big win for them, and you're going to force the field goal, but you bring the pressure, you make the quarterback move around, dump it from underneath the chains, then just expect your guys to rally up and make tackles. That's the way you start getting momentum to as a football team. Really good job by the Cardinals.
38-yard field goal attempt for Sebastian Janikowski. And this kick is no good. Kick is missed by Janikowski. Only the 2nd miss this year. And Patrick Peterson and the Cardinals revved up after a big stop on 3rd down. Seahawks still leading 7-0.
Snap looks good. Hold looks good. Janikowski hits it. He just pulls it, Dick. Look how shiny that ball is. One thing about these kicking balls, sometimes they get a little slippery, but it didn't affect. It usually only affects the snap or the hold. Janikowski just pulled that ball. Look how upset he is with himself. That's a chip shot for Sebastian Janikowski. That's something he makes in his sleep.
Big opportunity going by the boards for the Seahawks. They can't capitalize on that fumble. So now the Cardinals take over on the 28-yard line. 1st down, and here is Josh Rosen rolling out, and he completes in stride to Christian Kirk. And the rookie has a 1st down close to the 40-yard line. Carissa Thompson with a game break.
Thanks, Dick. An exciting one in Atlanta. Bengals down 5 with 12 seconds left to play, and Andy Dalton finds A.J. Green for this score. The 2-point conversion failed. Didn't matter. Bengals ended up winning 37-36 on the road. Dick?
Thank you, Carissa. Wild game in Atlanta. Meanwhile, it's a 1st down for the Cardinals at the 39. Rosen's first completion as a starter. He's now 1 for 3. And they go to Christian Kirk on the jet sweep. And Kirk, using Gresham, the tight end, as a blocker, gets close to 9 yards on 1st down as we send it down to Jen Hale.
Well, Dick, it's kind of poetic that Rosen's first throw and completion would be to Christian Kirk, because they have been working together actually since high school. They met as sophomores at an all-star camp. Both wanted to go to UCLA, so they decided to go on tour basically to all these all-star camps together, establishing a chemistry and hopefully impressing. Now, at one point, Kirk wanted to go to UCLA, and he stayed with Rosen's family during that visit. So the chemistry and connection between these two is evident.
2nd down and 3, and David Johnson with a 1st down and barges into Seattle territory to the 37-yard line. Bradley McDougald makes the tackle, 17 yards on that carry.
I love how they're bringing their tight end back in here, getting him off the line of scrimmage, back in as a lead blocker, something that you usually don't see. Freezes the Seattle defense. Then look at those receivers downfield. You want to take a 4-yard run, make it an 8-yard run, make it a 16-yard run. Your guys on the outside, your receivers have to be willing to block. They've got it going on right now, feeding off that momentum that the defense gave them.
That's the longest run for Johnson in this young season. And a 1st down on the 37 of the Seahawks. And play action again. And Josh Rosen going up on top, completes it. No, it's knocked away. Kirk seemingly had it And it was knocked away by Trey Flowers, the rookie cornerback, who has shown well. But that looked like a combination you're going to see a lot of for the Cardinals moving forward.
Well, what happens when you have that ability to run the play-action game? Now, all of a sudden, you set up, you get a receiver one-on-one, and oh, my goodness, Christian Kirk, you guys have been working together since sophomores. It's probably the first ball you've ever dropped that's that wide open. That is a big mistake, and this is one of the things that has haunted this football team, self-inflicted wounds.
Tight formation on 2nd and 10, and the quick going out to J.J. Nelson. And that for Nelson is his first reception of the year. He is expected to be the speedster in the receiving corps for the Cardinals. Flowers was all over him in a hurry and a pickup of 4.
And they're looking for these X receivers, the outside receivers, the X and the Z. They're looking for somebody to step up their game and really be a difference maker. Really, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, they're inside guys, they're slot guys. They need one of these other guys, whether it's Williams or whether it's J.J. Nelson, to really step their game up on the outside.
Either team has yet to convert a 3rd down. Cardinals need 6. And the quick going to Kirk. And Kirk is going to get the first down and loses the ball. And let's see if the play was blown dead, and it was. It'll be a first down for the Cardinals. Earl Thomas made the tackle. Ball came loose.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contact. First down.
So here's Christian Kirk. There's that ball. Looks like it's still secure. I think the hip is down. Yeah, that's a good call right there. The hip is down, the wrist and the forearm on the ground. Good call by the officiating.
And Pete Carroll not throwing that red challenge flag as David Johnson thrown for a loss by Shaquille Griffin on first down. Time for another game break. Let's check in again with Carissa.
Another crazy finish, a walk-off in Tennessee. 17 seconds left in OT when Marcus Mariota finds Corey Davis with the game-winning touchdown. Titans win in OT. Dick Marcus.
Another exciting game, Carissa. They keep coming. And you got them. Nearly a half a minute remaining in this rapidly played first quarter. Seahawks lead 7-0. But it's 2nd and 11 for Josh Rosen and the Cardinals on the 27. Here comes pressure for Rosen, and his throw is going to be near the sideline. And let's see if inbounds. It was a touchdown for Chad Williams. Rosen to Williams, 27 yards, right in the corner.
Just isolation running up the field, and this is not open. This is a quarterback throwing you open right here. Great adjustment by Chad Williams. We just talked about the fact that he needs to step up his game, but it's the confidence of Josh Rosen. And Josh Rosen, not arrogance. Confidence is born from a place of humility. I've done the work. Let's see if both feet get in.
Ooh. He's under review.
I'm not sure. The right foot may have been out of bounds. He touched that pylon before he went down.
I think the right foot, the heel kicked out of bounds there. I think that's coming back. What a throw, though. I mean, that's and you know, honestly, even if it comes back, what that does for your confidence as a young player, that you'll take those chances, that your guys are going to go up and make plays for you.
And
that's just big time, Dick. That's big time confidence builder for a young guy.
And Quentin Jefferson got to Rosen, so he got it under siege as well to throw that great pass into the corner of the end zone. Let's bring in Mike Pereira in our studios in Los Angeles. Mike, your thoughts having looked at the replay of Chad Williams?
One of these really tough ones. Really what you got to take a look at is, did the foot come down on the opponent's foot and then the heel hit out of bounds? You know, to me, I think this is more incomplete than complete. And again, real tough call. Forget about the pylon because the foot touches before the pylon. But I'm inclined to think this is incomplete.
I agree with you, Mike, and I got so excited about that potential touchdown that, you know, hindsight being 20/20, great effort, unbelievable throw.
Great catch.
Great catch, but even if your foot comes down on the foot of the defender's foot was out of bounds.
After review, the ruling has been changed to an incomplete pass. The receiver's second foot did not come down in bounds.
Well, it was fun while it lasted
third and 11
for Josh Rosen, but it's ruled an incompleted pass. And the call was reversed. Want to thank Mike Pereira for his viewpoint, which was the correct viewpoint of what the official saw to reverse the call. It'll be third down and 11 now. From the 27. Rosen drills it, and the pass caught by Larry Fitzgerald, and a first down on the 11-yard line. How about that poise after a presumable touchdown pass is called back? They get the first down.
Well, it starts up front. You protect your young guy, give him some time. He's going to step up, make a throw in the hole to Larry Fitzgerald versus zone coverage. Wonderful execution.
And the 215th consecutive game with a catch for the ageless Larry Fitzgerald. And welcome back to State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale. 16-yard pass to Larry Fitzgerald as we start the second quarter. First and 10 on the 11 of the Seahawks, who lead it 7-0. Rosen has time, and his pass is knocked away, incomplete. Fitzgerald claiming he was interfered with, but no flag is down.
One thing I love about Josh Rosen, there is no fear right here. Linebacker walked out. You're going to push him into that bracket coverage under and a high-low. But look at Josh Rosen. Just puts it right on the money. Drives it right to the hands of Larry Fitzgerald. That's 2 drops for Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know, research-wise, when the last time he had 2 drops in a game. I'd venture to guess never.
That'd be a good guess.
I mean, he's been one of the most sure-handed guys I've ever witnessed.
Second down and 10. And David Johnson with a run getting down to the 5-yard line. 7-yard gain. So third down and 3 coming up from the 4-yard line. So the Cardinals can get a first down without getting a touchdown. As Rosen looks at the play list on his wrist.
Yeah, Rosen looked at the playlist, and this is the beauty of this. Third down and 3, everything for you as an offense is open. One, you've got a running back, you can hand it off. You've got a quarterback that's athletic enough to threaten the edge, and obviously, he's not afraid to swing it.
Looking for the quick pass, pump, and the ball knocked away. Chad Williams was the intended receiver, and Justin Coleman, who's done a terrific job in the secondary for the Seahawks throughout this first half, knocks it away. And so now Phil Dawson is going to come on and attempt his first field goal of the season.
And he's got the great, I mean, it's just double slants. You've got the corner route from the inside receiver. So you come at slants on one edge, out to the corner. Josh Rosen just didn't see it through the slant.
Christian Kirk was open there. And this is a 23-yard field goal attempt, and Phil Dawson, with his first attempt and first field goal of the year, cuts the Seahawks lead. It's 7-3 in the first minute of play in the second quarter. Pretty impressive drive, using 5.5 minutes, 68 yards, and 13 plays. The Cardinals haven't seen much of that this year. Dawson now 8th all-time with his 437th field goal, passing Jason Elam. So it's 7-3, and Rashad Penny is back deep for the Seahawks. And it's a short kick, and Penny returning from the 3. And a good return as it gets past the 20 and tackled at the 26. That's where Russell Wilson will go to work. Well, the field is set for the MLB playoffs, and after today's action, determining the NL wildcard and division champs. The NLDS begins Thursday on FS1. The Dodgers and Rockies tied for first in the NL West. If they finish the season tied, they play game 163 tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. Look at these scores, 14-0 Dodgers. 2 touchdowns there, and Rockies have a touchdown leading the Nationals. They could be headed for the playoffs, and Cubs and Brewers are in the same boat right now, as Mike Davis, who started the game in running back, picks up 2 yards on first down.
How about those baseball scores right there? I mean, they're taking care of business right there. It looks like if things remain the same, which they look like they should, they're going to play off on Monday. Russell Wilson, by the way, got drafted by the Rockies, so he's keeping his eye on the playoffs. I mean, I'm sure he's a AL Mariner fan, but he's got to be still a Rockies fan.
Your son is a pitcher in the minor leagues.
Yes, he is.
And what's he throwing, 94 these days?
Yeah, he's been in the mid-90s.
Pretty good.
Taking his way back.
Second down and 8, and Davis is tackled, and a terrific play made by Kimdichie behind the line of scrimmage.
You feel the energy in this building. You feel what's happened here. You get a big stop. You miss a field goal. All of a sudden, you drive it down 13 plays. You convert a long 3rd down and 11 to Larry Fitzgerald. You get on the board, and now the energy in this building is picked up, and the defense is playing with more confidence.
Best energy we've seen around the Cardinals all season. 3rd and 9, and the crowd is in full throat. 3rd and 9, and the quick pass, and it is caught, but shy of the first down, it appears, to Doug Baldwin, who returned to action in this game. And it's going to be 4th down and 1. And once again, the Cardinal, I think they were ignited first when they held the Seahawks to a field goal, and then when they missed the field goal, they went to work offensively and got points on the board.
And that's the 2nd straight 3rd down where they brought pressure, made Russell Wilson get rid of it short of the sticks, and we're punting again.
And Michael Dixon, Kirk will have to let it bounce, and it goes out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it. So Josh Rosen, who has completed 4, nearly had a touchdown. It was reversed on the call, but he got the Cardinals into field goal range. 7-3 the score. Rosen comes back on. Cardinals' first 3 possessions, they got a field goal the last time. What's interesting is that they've run off 17 plays, so have the Seahawks, and that's a big change for what we've seen from Arizona. On first down, David Johnson. Penalty marker down. Johnson has averaged nearly 7 yards a carry so far, so he's getting more comfortable back there. John Hussey.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 11 covered the tight end. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's called on Fitzgerald.
How about Josh Rosen so far? Taking a shot right there. Some more pressure, getting him in there for a sack. But I'm telling you, he's putting the ball on the money. A drop there. Here's another money throw on the sideline, out of bounds. Here's what I love. Larry Fitzgerald even drops one. But you know what? This kid is not getting down on himself. He was on the sideline, rallying the troops. He has got a great spirit about him right now.
He hasn't had the best of luck as he gets it to Fitzgerald for the short gain out to the 15.
I love that too, right? Don't try to get all of it back at once. You've got 3 downs here. So now all of a sudden you're 2nd down and 10. Now we get the opportunity to continue to gain this thing, get to 3rd down and medium, 3rd down and short, and you stay in front of the chains, as we like to call it. You stay on schedule, meaning you've got a manageable down on 3rd down. That's what you have to do as a young quarterback.
And they bring in the rookie Chase Edmonds at running back. And Edmonds is going to be trapped behind the line of scrimmage by Quentin Jefferson and Michael Kendricks, and a loss of 4. Jen Hale has more on Josh Rosen.
Well, Dick Rosen has been spending most of his time when he's on the bench huddled up with his quarterback coach Byron Leftwich going over plays. Leftwich told me he's been keeping track since April of what Rosen does best, and that's what they made the game plan out of today. But as Mark kind of alluded to, he made time in that last time the Cards defense was up to get up, go find his receivers, congratulate them, encourage them, high-five them. It's really impressive the amount of poise he's showing.
Well, that's why he likes this sport over tennis. It's a team game, and he loves to be a team player. And the handoff to David Johnson goes nowhere on 3rd and long. That was Jacob Martin and a loss of 1. So in the last 2 running plays, the Cardinals have lost 5 yards. So Rosen trots off the field, 4th down, and Andy Lee is going to have to punt from way back.
Even though those running plays didn't work, you look at the 2nd down running play, that was a collegiate zone read play. The back end of that defense did not respect it. They pinched, so you may look for something coming back on the outside of that.
And here's the kick, and it's Tyler Lockett on the return, and a shoe top tackle from behind by Zeke Turner prevented even more of a return by Lockett. Well, despite the fact that the Seahawks have handled the Cardinals here at State Farm Stadium, it's been a house of horrors for the Seahawks over the past few years. Lost to Super Bowl 49 to the Patriots. Russell Wilson threw an interception at the 1. A missed chip shot field goal in an eventual 6-6 tie cost them a home playoff game. Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman both suffered injuries in the same game. So while they've beaten the Cardinals, haven't done well, and they'd like to forget their experiences against other teams. 1st down and 10. Rashad Penny breaks the tackle, gets a 1st down, and there is the kind of style that made him the #1 draft pick by the Seahawks. 27th pick of the draft out of San Diego State.
And you always got to love it when your offensive lineman can get out here. They can lead the way, pulling around the tight end's block, slowing down, just engulfing Deone Bucannon, just rejecting him to the sideline and opening up a huge running lane for Penny.
14 yards on that play. And this time, not the same result for the Seahawks as Chandler Jones stops Penny almost in his tracks.
They've made changes along the offensive line. They've solidified the inside. Britt is back. He missed last week with an injury, but J.R. Sweezy moving over to the left side, played his first game in his career at left guard last week, and then huge DJ Fluker making a big difference, given that body presence, and I mean body presence, about 372 on the right guard position.
2nd down and 9. Wilson quickly gets it out, and it's lost, but it's recovered by David Moore. David Moore, 2nd-year receiver who was picked on the 7th round last year with his first career reception. Fumbled and recovered.
I think it's not only his first career catch, but I would imagine it's his first career fumble recovery too, Dick. So, I mean, you know what? He's got the one more thing that happened, he would have had the trifecta. But I don't know what happens when you just get 2.
So it's his first fumble recovery, and all of that.
All right.
And Penny gets back in the game and charges close to the 20. Marcus Golden makes the stop. 2nd down coming up for the Seahawks, leading 7-3. Midway through the 2nd quarter, as Davis comes back in.
A lot of noise about Russell Wilson not carrying the ball. They run a lot of that zone read, but Russell is so effective that oftentimes the back end of a defense will not constrict. They have so much respect for his ability to pull the ball and to run the ball that it opens up lanes for these running backs, and that's what's happening right now.
He has the 2nd fewest rushing yards for the first 3 games of any season. And here is Davis with the carry, and Bethea with a flag down knocks him out of bounds. Hard running by both Penny and Davis in the first half.
And they've done a good job of, oh, here's the flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 89. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So it's the wide receiver Doug Baldwin holding on the play after the 5-yard gain. We'll bring it back.
Yeah, back, Doug Baldwin back. He was part of the first game of the season against the Broncos, got injured in that game. He's back. He's running really exceptionally well. But this is kind of where you really want him, down here in this approaching the red area, and he just gets engulfed. I mean, that's a bad assignment right there, right? Chandler Jones. Hey, guess what? Our best defensive player off the edge. You got him, Doug Baldwin. A good fight there. I mean, I appreciate the effort.
2nd and 17, and they swing it out, and Davis is taken down quickly by Bené Ben-Wickery, who has had an outstanding first 3 games, even though the Cardinals are winless.
How about reading that play? You read that play, you see that swing pass coming, you put your foot in the ground, and you drive on it, run directly through the running back and toss him on the ground. That's recognition, and that's fearlessness at the cornerback position.
Loss of 5, 3rd and 22 now. Seahawks back to the Cardinal 36-yard line, and they'll run Mike Davis. And Budda Baker is right there to bring him down, creating 4th down. So the penalty hurting the Seahawks, and then the Cardinals defense does the rest. And Janikowski is going to come on to try a field goal.
It's going to be a 52-yarder.
Right.
For Janikowski.
His longest is 63, but that's at Denver with the altitude. But this is a 52-yarder, has missed one so far, and it looks like he has missed another one as he pushes this one out to the left. So Sebastian Janikowski misses 2 field goals, and Pete Carroll with a furrowed brow. And Seattle with another opportunity going by the boards, and the score remains the Seahawks 7 and the Cardinals 3. Well, with the miss on the long field goal try by Janikowski, who's sitting alone behind the bench, the Cardinals will have their best starting field position of the game, their own 42.
About as lonely as you can get right there.
And he's got a lot of beverages around him.
No question, tons of Gatorade out there.
Play fake to David Johnson, plenty of time, going up top to Nelson. And Nelson can't hold on. He had, with the flag down upfield, J.J. Nelson, the fastest wide receiver, beat the defense. Could not hold on. And another drop by a Cardinal receiver, but here's the penalty.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 99. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
But Quentin Jefferson, illegal hands to the face. Will be a first down here.
Look at him push that right by, up the middle. By Earl Thomas, wide open. That's 2 deep balls, perfectly thrown by the quarterback. Dropped. One by Christian Kirk. Now J.J. Nelson.
3rd drop by Cardinal receivers today, and that includes Larry Fitzgerald. So they all seem to be getting in the act. It'll be a first down, however, at the Cardinal 47. Johnson trying to cut upfield and close to midfield, bringing up 2nd down. Well, how's the other rookie quarterback? The one who's getting all the attention, it seems. Carissa Thompson will tell us.
Right. Josh Rosen getting his first career start. And as you just mentioned, Baker Mayfield also getting his first career start. And he finds Darren Fells for this 49-yard touchdown. His first career touchdown pass. 2-point conversion is good. Browns up on the road, 17-7. Dick?
Well, he's making a difference, and the Cardinals hope that Rosen makes a difference after the 3-yard pickup by Johnson. 2nd down and 7. Here's Johnson. Johnson trying to get to the outside. He has a first down and knocked out of bounds. But a big gain by David Johnson. This is the David Johnson that the Cardinals remember when he was a terror as a running back.
Well, you're getting everybody going this way. Watch the tight ends on the backside climb here. He's going to cut back, Great job by Gresham to get up on the linebacker. He pops it out the backside. This is exactly the kind of pace this Arizona Cardinal team needs. They've got to quit making the mistakes that put themselves behind the 8 ball. You can't play against the Seattle defense and against yourself at the same time. That's what's happened so far.
Longest run of the season, 21 yards. Getting a breather with Chase Edmonds, the rookie from Fordham, coming in. Edmonds gets the call and turns it on, and a good run on first down. Getting down to the 23. Jaron Reed with the tackle. Pickup of 7.
Most effective the Cardinals have been this season running the ball. Great at the point of attack, staying on their blocks, driving to that second level.
Why are they doing so well, do you think?
Well, I think one of the reasons is because you have to be aware of Josh Rosen, the boot keeps. You have to be aware of the edge, something that Sam Bradford could not give you. One of the reasons that still Steve Wilks went to Josh Rosen in the first place.
Second down and 4, and they go to Edmonds again, but he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Michael Kendricks. Kendricks playing very well, and you know his story, appealing the suspension after pleading guilty to insider trading charges, and he continues to play, awaiting word on what will happen to the former Eagle. But he has 2 sacks and has been a big boost to that team.
Yeah, he was cut from the Browns when the insider trading story came out, but he's done everything right. He's given the money back. He's done everything he can do. Now he's just waiting for the ruling from the league to come down.
Third down and 5 on the 24 of the Seahawks. Pressure coming in on Rosen. Rosen over the top, and this time Fitzgerald makes a great catch, holds on, and a first down inside the Seattle 20. Gain of 7.
All right, Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, I've had a couple of drops, but I'll bail you out. Everything is covered. Josh Rosen, pressure in the pocket, but he delivers. Look, as they get out there, runs into the defensive back, but goes on dives and makes a great effort. Griffin there with great coverage, but that's Josh Rosen putting it only a place where your receiver can catch it. Larry Fitzgerald does what he's done his entire career.
Third catch of the game for Fitzgerald. Our 2-minute warning with the Cardinals threatening but trailing the Seahawks 7-3. Russell Wilson getting set for his next opportunity. Meanwhile, with 2 minutes to go, the Cardinals have a first down on the 18. Their second trip in the red zone, settled for a field goal the first time. Rosen is 6 for 12 for 50 yards. David Johnson lined up as a receiver. And here is Rosen's pass to the corner, and it's knocked away, and the flag goes down. And Christian Kirk defended by Justin Coleman.
Pass interference, defense, number 28. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball in place at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Pete Carroll doesn't see it that way, but it'll be first and goal.
Well, here you go. Christian Kirk wide open. Yeah, you can't dive over the top. Like, Pete Carroll doesn't see it that way because Pete Carroll doesn't want to see it that way, but that is clearly pass interference. You're not making a play for the ball. You're making a play for the receiver.
He kind of crashed into Kirk, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He didn't think it was pass interference either. But
what's expected there? What do you expect? First and goal from the 1. And here is David Johnson. And Johnson is stopped short of the goal line on first and goal. Tedrick Thompson undercut him to make the play.
Well, it looked like that ball got across, but did his knee hit the ground before it did? Ooh, that is really close.
See the line judge coming on in, had the best view. Now second and goal.
I think we're going to get the challenge flag.
The previous play is under review.
They're going to review under 2 minutes, and it's a booth review.
Okay. I'm telling you, I don't think his wrist or his hand hit, which does not make him down. I don't see the rest of his body. And remember, all the ball has to do is cross the plane. There's the hand. There's the ball. Everything's in the air. That, to me, right there, Dick, is a touchdown.
And the question would be, Mark, is there enough to change the call on the field, which was,
well,
he was stopped short.
Well, if we go back to the last angle, if we could go back and look at that. Okay, so here's the hand. You'll see that. Now watch right here. Stop that, if you will, guys. There is nothing on the ground here. That hand is here, and that ball is clearly, to me, across the goal line. That should be a touchdown. But again, like you said, is there enough evidence to overturn it? It was called not a touchdown. It was called short.
Well, let's bring in Mike Pereira for the second time today. We're using Mike a lot today, Mike. You don't mind?
Yeah, you know, it's one of these that's really close, and we're focusing on the knee, actually, looking at the rear knee. But it looks like as it does reach out with the ball, that maybe the ball does break the plane before the knee gets down.
After review, the ruling on the field is a touchdown.
And we reverse that, and it's a touchdown for David Johnson.
Goal line with the ball.
So, Mike, I guess there was enough to change it.
Yeah, it was, Dick, because when he reached out and you looked at that knee, it looked like the ball had already broken the plane. And just Mark did a great job by talking about it's just a plane. So as soon as the ball touches that plane, that makes it a touchdown if no other body part other than that hand was down.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So David Johnson with a 1-yard touchdown run, and that's the first touchdown for Josh Rosen leading this team. And Phil Dawson on for the conversion with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. And the kick is good, and the Cardinals have taken a 10-7 lead over the Seahawks. And we'll be right back after this message from Geico. So David Johnson scoring a touchdown. He's made a habit of scoring to help the Cardinals offense. And there he is, the most touchdowns in the first 37 games since the merger. David Johnson, one behind the great Barry Sanders, and moving in on these other greats like Dickerson and Marcus Allen and Edgerrin James. So the two scoring drives for the Cardinals from 68 and 58 yards. As Perry will down it in the end zone for a touchback. And will take it out on the 25. And for a game break, here's Carissa.
Thanks, Dick. 24 seconds left. Texans Colts tied at 34 in overtime when Deshaun Watson finds DeAndre Hopkins setting up a field goal chance. Fairbairn 37 yards out. Boom. Gets it. Texans get their first win of the season. Colts fall to 1-3, and we will see them against the Patriots on Thursday.
Boy, Carissa's writing great scripts for these dramatic games, high-scoring games and all. But here's Russell Wilson and C.J. Prosise in the game for the first time. Good receiver out of the backfield. And he's lined up as a receiver. From the 25, Wilson can't find a target. Completes it. But a minimal gain of about 3 or 4 yards with Trey Boston right there to make this tackle on Doug Baldwin. Cardinals taking advantage of the field position after the missed field goal mark and getting the touchdown and the lead. 2nd and 6. And Wilson will run and slide and get a first down as he crosses the 35-yard line, picking up 7 yards.
Minute and 18 seconds left right here as they reset the chains.
Seahawks have all 3 of their timeouts left and use one right here. Well, coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony. Saints taking on the Giants, and 49ers and Chargers battle for a second win of the year, and that's what the Seahawks are doing today. But Sebastian Janikowski, unlikely for him, missing 2 field goals.
Well, you've got plenty of time to drive down the football field. Do you trust your field goal kicker at this point? They'd like to get into position, give him an opportunity to tie this game up.
First down on the 36. 2 timeouts left for Seattle. Wilson. And incomplete. And Bethea thinks he may have an interception. And the pass is ruled incomplete. I saw that ball hit the ground. And it'll go as an incompletion. Baldwin, the intended receiver here.
Well, here it is. Down low, Baldwin gets his hands underneath it. Does it hit the ground? Let's see if Bethea actually, as he dives for this.
Well, it'd be a challenge flag if Steve Wilks wants to throw it. No challenge. It would be a booth review. None coming. It was incomplete. And now we may have one.
The previous play is under review.
And we will. We'll have a booth review on that last play. Bethea telling the back judge that the ball did not touch the ground, that I had controlled it.
I think there's two things here. You have to see, because first off, Baldwin gets his hands. Does his hand stay under? Does it hit the ground? Not enough evidence to overturn or change it there. And then here is Bethea. Does it hit the ground or just the hands? That looks to me like it's just the hands. Now look at Bethea. Does he possess this ball? Does it come in contact with the ground, or does he have possession of it? From that angle, looks like he's underneath it. Let's see if we can get a more definitive look.
Well, you can't get two closer plays than this on either one, the Baldwin one or the Bethea
Hands
play.
underneath it. He pins it. Ooh.
He cradled it against the turf. It looked as if he did that.
Right here, up against the face mask. It looks to me right at the end,
The ball
he
does
loses possession of it as it's on the ground.
All right, Mike. You're here again, Mike Pereira. What's your thought?
You know, when you're saying, ooh, hey, oh, look at this. I think, you know, we're kind of doing the same here. I just don't think that there's enough to overturn it. Remember, they ruled it incomplete. I'm not sure even on the
After
initial.
review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Incomplete pass.
That's a great way of putting it, Mike. You know, when we ooh and ah, think maybe, could it be? It's not, right?
It's more fun, though, Mike, to ooh and ah, though. That's a lot more fun.
I like those oohs. We like oohs and ahs, but if you take a look at it here, does the ball touch the ground there? If it does, then it's incomplete. And even the possibility there does it. So they did the right thing, which is staying with the call.
Thanks, Mike. 2nd and 10. Mike Davis, the running back, but Wilson wants to get into scoring position. And this pass to Tyler Lockett is ruled complete, and running up to the line. 2 timeouts left for Seattle. They have a first down on their 47 after the 11-yard play. You see the green line, field goal range for Janikowski, who can boom them. Hasn't today, and there's the sack, and it's Hassan Reddick. Big play by Reddick, and a loss of 6 yards, and a timeout is called by Seattle, and they have 1 remaining.
Hassan Reddick coming from the linebacker. Watch the upfield rush so he can come back in here and pressure the quarterback. Hassan Reddick does a great job of delaying for just a second and then jumping over the guard to get himself to the quarterback. Hassan Reddick is a guy that has consistently rushed the passer in the college game. They're trying to transition him to the linebacker position, but they want him to get as many opportunities rushing the passer as possible, because that's what he's most comfortable at.
And he hurdled DJ Fluker in the process, so now 2nd down and 16, and a penalty flag is down.
Full start. Everybody but the center. Offense.
John Hussey, everybody but the center.
2nd down.
So Justin Britt, you're okay. The rest of you, not so much.
Yeah, you know, I mean, everybody but the center. Usually it's on that center, right? I mean, he's the guy. Look at everybody moves like, dude, are you going to snap the ball or not? Yeah, Fluker waited. Yeah, Fluker waited, but usually, you know, for us guys up front, we're like, dude, we're the ones getting blamed. Snap the doggone ball.
36-yard line, 2nd down and 21. Crowd is alive here at the stadium, and Davis with the completion, and he's ridden out of bounds by Geoff Mines. 41 seconds remain in the half. Don't forget the Visa halftime report coming up with our guys in the studio and bring you up to date on all the highlights, and a lot of exciting games. We've been watching the game breaks from Carissa so far. Great action today. 3rd down and 14. And Wilson's pass caught by Lockett. And out of bounds he goes. He'll be short of the first down by a yard. Trey Boston making the play, preventing the first down. 1 timeout left. It'll be 4th down and 1. Right now it would be a 61-yard attempt. Janikowski's done that before.
They're going to try to get him to jump off sides. I don't anticipate them running a play here, Dick.
Doesn't look that way. And finally, the Seahawks call their last timeout.
3rd and final charge timeout. Seattle. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Janikowski has missed 2 field goals. And normally he'd be on the mark for both of them. 38-yarder. And then he pushed the 52-yard field goal. Unlike him, former Oakland Raider, this would be a 62-yard field goal if they decide to go that route here.
Red Sea, here we go.
But on 4th down and 1, going for it here.
Pete Carroll keeps the offense on the field in shotgun.
And Wilson going to go down. And it's Chandler Jones. And the Cardinals have a chance with 30 seconds left and 2 timeouts left. Take over on downs at midfield. And you got to wonder about that call, Mark.
You do. I mean, I don't, again, when they try to draw him off sides, I understand that part. You take your timeout, you pin him down, you punt it, you pin him down, and you go into halftime down by 3. Right here, Chandler Jones coming off the edge on the pass rush, one-on-one with Dwayne Brown. And Dwayne is a guy that they just leave one-on-one all the time. You see Chandler get up underneath the arms of Brown and then understand the depth of the drop of the quarterback cut up underneath the offensive tackle to create the sack. And now you have to wonder, do you take a shot down the football field or you just hand it off here and be content with a 3-point lead going to the locker room?
3rd sack of the season for Jones, who had 17 to lead the league last year. Lost to 6 now at midfield. And the quick flip and incomplete. And a flag is down. We saw one of the Seattle defenders jump, and I don't know whether it was offside or just timed the count perfectly.
Defense, number 55.
And it was Frank Clark there, top pass rusher.
First down.
Well, Frank Clark has jumped the count a bunch up top here, jumping the count, clearly offsides. Josh Rosen does a good job just to get away. And Frank Clark, give him credit right there. He knows. I mean, he did not drive the quarterback into the ground, took his hands off, and, you know, lives with that 5-yard penalty.
So can Josh Rosen get the Cardinals into position for another score before this intermission comes up? 1st down and 5 after the penalty. And Rosen in trouble. And Rosen's going to take off. And Josh Rosen maybe just a little bit shy, close to the first down. Jaron Reed and Bobby Wagner, the veteran middle linebacker, gain of 5, and a timeout is called by the Cardinals, leaving them with 1.
Josh Rosen just learned a valuable lesson right there. Those guys in the other color uniforms, they're not there to help you. Look at him scramble up here. Now watch, he's going to get down. Good job getting down, picking up the first down, but watch Josh Rosen try to get the hand up. Oh, we can't see it right here. Okay, here it is. All right, look at it. Go ahead, Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner, please. No? Okay, thanks, Bobby. We appreciate it. Welcome to the league, rookie. It's not my job to help you up, right? It's my job to put you down. Good job, Bobby Wagner. Way to be welcome.
Thank you, Bob. 18 seconds left, and one timeout for the Cardinals. First down, and the pass over the middle of Fitzgerald, and he gets hit and loses it, and Wagner again with a crunching hit on Fitzgerald. And now it'll be 2nd and 10 with 15 seconds on the clock.
Look, love Larry Fitzgerald too. I mean, he doesn't get up. He has nothing to say. You go ahead, take a shot. Great one right in the ribs. You know what I'm going to do? Bobby Wagner going to drive on the ball right here, just playing zone coverage. What am I going to do? I'm going to hop up and I'm going to roll back to the huddle. Nice effort by Bobby Wagner. That's a heck of a football player right there.
Part of the great Seattle defenses of recent years. Most of them have gone their way, but not Wagner. And the handoff is to David Johnson. And Johnson, and now we have under 10 seconds to go. Johnson gets 8 yards. Bobby Wagner again with his 3rd straight tackle. And the clock down to 2, and the timeout is called by the Cardinals with 2 seconds remaining. And Phil Dawson will come on to try to add to the Cardinal lead. Well, you know, we haven't seen as much spark for the Cardinals offense so far this year, Mark. We are seeing it today, and it's actually infecting their defense as well.
There's no question. Look at that, 6 of 13. But you got a couple in there. There's at least 4 drops in that 6 of 13, or 3 drops anyhow. So he's done a great job of putting the ball out there.
He's given him life. There's no question about it. This will be a 50-yard attempt for Dawson, who connected from 23 yards earlier. So here's the 50-yard field goal try by Phil Dawson at the buzzer, and it's no good. A squirrely kick that moved off to the right, and that will do it for the first half. Josh Rosen completing 6 of 13 for 50 yards. And this first half brought to you by Swiffer. Here are the plays. And this was Mike Davis's touchdown to give the Seahawks the initial 7-0 lead. And then the Cardinals answer. David Johnson with the touchdown, and their field goal has been the difference. And the score is 10-7 in favor of the Cardinals. So stay tuned for the Visa Halftime Report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony coming up right after these messages. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. So the Cardinals lead the Seahawks 10-7. Obviously, with Josh Rosen, Mark, they got a spark there. The question is, can they sustain it against a team that has the experience to come back like the Seahawks?
Exactly. How do you finish? Because so far this season, they have not been able to finish. You look at all the big plays they left on the table here. Josh Rosen throwing it deep, and a drop by Christian Kirk, also by J.J. Nelson. You clean those mistakes up, and you're on your way to scoring some big-time points here for the first time this season.
Brandon Williams returning for the Cardinals gets tripped up, but gets close to the 30 as we send it down to Jen Hale.
Dick, Arizona's head coach Steve Wilks is hoarse from screaming with excitement over that first half in Josh Rosen's debut. Consider this, coming into today's game, the Cardinals' third down efficiency was below 25%. Now it's at 50%. Rosen's success is invigorating this entire team. Pete Carroll, meanwhile, struggling to find a way to make things difficult for him. Look for some more exotic looks this next half. And speaking of the Seahawks, I'll get back to that point in just 1 second on Janikowski, Dick.
All right, you're right about this, and I think the defense has been inspired as well, Jen. Here's David Johnson, and he's knocked back by Frank Clark for a loss of 3 yards. Take a look at the first half numbers, and perhaps look at Seattle 0 for 5 on third downs, but the fact is they're running plays, the offense for the Cardinals. They haven't done that yet.
Yeah, running plays, and as far as that defense is concerned, that's where they've brought the majority of pressure, make the quarterback throw it underneath, rally up and make tackles. That's been the game plan, and it's worked to perfection, keeping them 0 for 5 in third downs.
They spread it out on 2nd down and 13. 5 potential receivers for Josh Rosen. He goes out to Kirk. Kirk trying to get away from Flowers. He can't do it. Jen, you got more.
Yeah, Dick, so talking about those 2 missed field goals by Janikowski in the first half, keep in mind his holder, Michael Dixon, is a rookie who's never held for a left-footed kicker like Janikowski before. So there's some timing issues there that the Seahawks are trying to work through for this second half.
All right, thank you very much, Jen. So Janikowski, I'm sure, wants to get out there. He hopes the team gets touchdowns, but wants to redeem himself somewhat. Meanwhile, Josh Rosen faces a 3rd and 9 from his own 31. Rosen stepping up, trying to get away, gets tripped, and is going to be short of the first down. He fumbled, but then grabbed it in a hurry. But Earl Thomas and Quentin Jefferson, after the 8-yard pickup, just missing the first down, so Andy Lee will have to come in.
They brought pressure. Seattle brought pressure. It was Jacob Martin, number 59, coming off the edge, the rookie linebacker, brought pressure. Rosen being able to scramble outside of that pressure, and you know, that's what the Cardinals have been doing to the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Tyler Lockett at the 14. He's got the moves, but so does Zeke Turner, who brings him down. Well, coming up, the Seahawks running backs. They don't have Carson today, but they've got Mike Davis and Rashad Penny, and even Procise if they need him. They've got to get the running game going. Hawks first down from their 22, and they play fake, and it's going to go into the hands of Tyler Lockett, and Lockett will be pushed out of bounds by Bethea after a gain of 7. Mark, what do the Seahawks need here offensively?
Well, they've run the ball very effectively. They're averaging 6.3 yards a carry in the first half off their 15 rushing attempts, but they have not pushed the ball down the football field. Russell Wilson, 13 of 15, only 92 yards, so you'd like to see them take some shots if protection can hold up. And it should when you run the ball as effectively as they have here in the first half, going into the 3rd quarter now.
2nd down and 3, and here is Mike Davis, and he hurdles a defender, gets the first down. Bethea on the stop, 4-yard pickup. Take a look at the offensive leaders for the Seahawks, and Mike Davis has seen a lot of action, and of course he leads with 65 rushes. That's pretty good yards per carry. You mentioned Russell Wilson's great percentage so far. Doug Baldwin, returning to action, has 4 catches to lead the team. 1st and 10. And Davis again, and he's going to be knocked back by Patrick Peterson, and they'll lose a yard or so on the play.
Nice run blitz there. Dayon Buchanan getting in the line of scrimmage, knocking off the tight end who's pulling across the formation, leaving it wide open one-on-one for Patrick Peterson to make a tackle. Puts him in 2nd down and long situation, and these are what Seattle needs to stay out of. They need to stay on pace here, and 2nd and longs have been a tough thing for them throughout the course of the season, because it leads to 3rd down and long, which they haven't been good at.
Wilson to throw on 2nd and 10, and the pass to Lockett, and a first down to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 12 to Lockett.
Well, just a quick little slant route on the inside, gets inside leverage here on the, look at that release, inside leverage on Budda Baker right there. Very nice effort. Down low to make the catch, moving the chains. 2nd down and 10 becomes a first down.
Tackle George Fant has checked in as an extra offensive lineman. Those are Lockett's numbers in this game. There's Fant. Nick Vannett, the tight end, spread out, then back to the line. And on play action, here's the pick. Flip to Vannett, breaks the tackle, loses the ball. And it is out of bounds. The ball went out of bounds. And shy of the first down. He was out of bounds when he batted it. Dayon Buchanan trips him up.
Ball comes out. Now watch Ben Wickery. His foot out of bounds. Once he hits the out of bounds right there, that ball is dead as soon as he touches it.
So now 2nd down. Ben Wickery, who played for Steve Wilks when Wilks was the defensive coordinator with the Carolina Panthers. Seen a lot of action in the early season thus far for them. 2nd down and 4. Mike Davis, and now Russell Wilson with a carry, slides for the first down. Haven't seen Wilson run much today. Gets 10 yards, though, on that one.
Well, that's the first one that he's pulled, essentially, this season. And talking to Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, Russell will not pull one unless he feels like he can get an explosive run, which is 12-plus yards. There you see him pulling it, getting a big run, and creating another first down on 2nd and 4.
Coming in is rushed for 7 times for 21 yards. Not much for him. And a first down on the 38 of the Cardinals.
Walk-up linebackers. Russell changing the play.
And Mike Davis, a yard is all. Olsen Pierre quickly in there for the stop for the Cardinals.
Thing about blitzing on a consistent basis, especially in the run game, you'll get them sometimes at the line of scrimmage like they did there. But the one time you're out of your gap assignment, those become not 0 or 1 yard gains. Those become 20, 30 yard breakouts.
It's a chess game. And again, Davis cutting up inside, gets a few. And it was Trey Boston from the secondary coming in to make the tackle, bringing up 3rd down. And about 5.
It's a really
6.
Really nice play by Trey Boston. He comes up off the edge, secures Russell Wilson on the boot, and then falls back inside in time to make the tackle on Mike Davis. Really nice effort.
Seattle 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. Rashad Penny checks in the backfield. And Wilson running, and let's see if he was down. I think he was before he got to the sticks. Josh Bynes, they mark it shy of that unofficial yellow line, and it is 4th down. So now the Seahawks 0 for 6 on 3rd down tries.
One of the things Josh Bynes does here, right? Now watch him not bite the pump fake, and this is so hard to do. Even if a quarterback breaks the line of scrimmage, you always tell him, you know what, pump fake, guys. He didn't bite for it, made that tackle.
4th down and 1. Penny gets the first down and a lot more. And Peterson trying to wrestle him down, eventually does, but not before. The number 1 draft pick, Rashad Penny, gets inside the 15-yard line for a 15-yard scamper.
And when you get everybody that gets into a single gap, gets washed down here, it leaves a wide open chasm, wide open running lane right there for Penny. He takes advantage of that. You get guys in multiple bodies in one hole, that's what leaves openings for running backs in the running game.
And Seattle running well in this game. 133 rushing yards for the Seahawks. From the 14, first down, and Wilson fell down, and Penny has to recover. It'll be a loss way back as Penny gets hit in the head inadvertently by Kimdichie. There'll be a loss of 9 yards, but it could have been disaster for Seattle here.
Well, you always worry when you have to open up as a center or as a guard. You get the foot stepped on a Russell Wilson. You'd like to just eat the ball. You don't want to pitch it out there. Good heads-up alertness by Penny to fall on that ball, but a huge loss pushes him back.
So now it's 2nd and 19, back at the 23. Mike Davis again in the game, and Wilson drills it on a bounce, incomplete. Baldwin was the intended receiver. 3rd and 19, Janikowski off the bench. He has spent a lot of time by himself out there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and obviously he's got a lot of things going through his head. The center holder exchange. He's pulled one ball, he's pushed another. 3rd down and 19 coming up here. Do they bring pressure like they have in the previous 3rd downs, or do they fall back and play coverage?
3rd and 19, Mike Davis. And Robert Kimdichie just hugs him, doesn't have much. And here is that field goal unit coming in. Michael Dixon, the holder. Tyler Ott is the long snapper. And Sebastian Janikowski today 0 for 2, missing from 38 and 52 yards. Trying to tie the game for the Seahawks. This will be a 40-yard try. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. So Sebastian Janikowski hits the field goal from 40 to tie the game at 10-10 with just under 5 minutes remaining in the third. We're tied 10-10 here, and an impressive drive by Seattle. As Janikowski kicking off. 7 minutes and 46 seconds. That's a great drive. 14 plays, capped by the field goal. And Brandon Williams going to let it sail out of the end zone. Cardinals will start from the 25. Well, Saturday, we have a huge day of college football. First, it's the Red River Showdown between 18th ranked Texas and number 6 Oklahoma, followed by Indiana taking on 4th ranked Ohio State. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Oklahoma has won the last 2 Red River Showdowns by a combined 10 points. And famous Longhorn right there,
Earl
Mr. Thomas, who has 3 interceptions this year. In fact, their starting safeties, you talked about McDougal and how well he's played too. 5 interceptions between McDougal and Earl Thomas. And now Josh Rosen going to work for the Cardinal offense in the tie game. First down pitching to David Johnson, and he's going to be corralled behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 3 or 4 with Reed making the play.
Exactly the way you don't want to start a drive if you're the Arizona Cardinals. You want to give your defense a chance to rest a little bit. They just were on the field for over 7 minutes defending a drive. Now you put yourself behind. 2nd down and 12. You don't have to get it all here, but you've got to get yourself in a manageable 3rd down position for your young quarterback.
2nd and 12. Rosen will give the ball to Johnson again. Result not great for the Cardinals. Bobby Wagner was right there. So Johnson carrying for the 13th time, now with 64 yards total, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Josh Rosen, now he's completed some 3rd downs and he's completed some long 3rd downs here, but really, again, just a horrible way to start off this drive. I mean, a response drive to the field goal that the Seattle Seahawks just got in. And you're behind the 8 ball again, and you look like you're getting pressure here as everybody's on the line of scrimmage.
And the rookie Chase Edmonds in the game. And Josh Rosen incomplete, intended for the tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones. So that was a 3 and out in a hurry, and Spark wasn't there. And 2 3 and outs for the Cardinals to start the second half. And so Andy Lee coming in and Tyler Lockett going back. This is where it's going to be very tense for the Cardinals to make sure that the defense doesn't stay on the field too long. Good hang time. Flag is down. Lockett. And he brings it out. Stopped by Zeke Turner. Penalty marker, and also the cap went off from the official on the sideline.
Usually that's a gunner that goes out of bounds and does not work quickly enough to get himself back in bounds. We'll see what the call is here.
A member of the kicking team, number 26, went out of bounds and didn't come back in. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the succeeding spot. First down, timeout.
That's exactly what it was, and Brandon Williams called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Russell Wilson in a tie game trying to give the Seahawks a lead when we return. Seahawks and Pete Carroll. Seahawks trying to get by and win this game with a big contest coming up at home against the Rams next week and get even on the season at 2-2. It'll be a first down on the Cardinal 47. Wilson's pass, and it is caught, and David Moore breaks away from the tackler and gets out of bounds at the 17-yard line. David Moore making his first receptions of the season.
He's just going to run a comeback. He's down at the bottom of the screen. Going to come back right there. Break a tackle by Ben Wickery, and he's off to the race. This guy they really want to get involved. Young player. He's big at 6 foot 215. Can really run, high point the ball. They love him in practice. They've been waiting to kind of unleash him, and now 2 catches on the season. His first 2, obviously.
And a good preseason out of East Central Oklahoma. 7th round pick last year, and now a timeout is called. So after the 30-yard pass and run by David Moore, ball is on the 17 and a timeout called, and we'll also take a break. Seahawks have dominated the ball control here in the third quarter. 15 plays and nearly 8 minutes to only 6 plays for Arizona. It is 1st and 10 on the 17 in a 10-10 game. And the handoff is to Davis. And Davis giving ground, being chased. And Patrick Peterson will finally wrestle down at around the 10-yard line. And for a game break, let's check in now with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, the Raiders relying on Jared Cook this season. He's been a big part of their offense. But this is his first NFL touchdown on the year from Derek Carr. They pull a little bit closer to the Browns. Cleveland still up, though, 28-21. Dick and Mark.
Thank you, Kurt. 2nd down and 4. Just outside the 10. Wilson can't find a target, nearly lost his footing, and the pass is incomplete. Flag is down, however, in the end zone. Nick Vannett is defended in the end zone by Dale Buchanan.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. The foul curtain in the end zone. The ball he placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic. First down.
Pass interference will make it 1st and goal for the Seahawks.
Well, anytime you extend the play, you can understand it on the back end. It just makes it that much harder to cover guys. And that essentially is a tackle by Dale Buchanan as Vannett pushes out to get away. And I mean, that is an easy call for any official.
He's the only active tight end right now. Will Dissly suffered a knee injury in the first quarter and had to leave the game. Well, it's 1st and goal, and Mike Davis charges into the end zone. Flag is down, touchdown, but there's a penalty.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 53, the tackle on the end of the line, was left uncovered. Therefore, makes it an illegal formation.
And Pete Carroll arguing with that call against Joey Hunt. So a touchdown is nullified by that penalty.
Here he is right here, not covered by anybody. Got to be covered by a receiver on the end of the line of scrimmage.
And he did not report. Hunt did not report. Carroll didn't either. And so back on the sideline, and Carroll talking to John Hussey about that. So now it'll be 1st and goal at the 6. And the touchdown is erased. And here is Wilson's pass, overthrown, trying to get it to Brandon Marshall. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Imperative to get a stop here. 2 reasons. One of the things, and we talk about complementary football all the time, one of the things you want to do to a young quarterback is put him not only in physical stress, but mental stress. The way that Seattle has possessed the ball up into this point in the third quarter, now all of a sudden 7-point lead feels almost insurmountable, and you get out of your opportunity to run the things that you feel comfortable running.
Second and goal, Wilson's pass, knocked away. Good deflection by Trey Boston. And another penalty marker is down, right near the goal line.
Holding. Defense, number 21. Penalties after this to see the goal. Automatic.
It's
First
on
down.
Patrick Peterson, and the holding penalty will give the Seahawks a first down.
Patrick Peterson right here, got the one-on-one. Trey Boston sitting in the middle of the football field. Inside release. Well, I tell you what, that looks like some equal hand fighting. Brandon Marshall is always one of those guys that's going to get his hands on you, but the beneficiary of the call is the Seahawks, and it puts them with a first down.
First and goal at the 3. And here's Mike Davis, and Davis getting close to the 1. Benson Mayowa making the stop. Second and goal, and the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
Now, if I'm Seattle, I don't care how many guys they stack at the line of scrimmage. I'm getting behind DJ Fluker, and I'm saying, big fella, 6'5", 272. They've got him listed at 242, but
Not
about
so.
272. I want to get behind that guy, and I want to pound the rock right behind my big fellas up front.
Second and goal, they go to Davis. Fluker, just as you called it, and a touchdown for Seattle. They got behind what, the 242? No, the 272 guard.
Yeah, the 372 guard. Yeah, they were telling me that they had a little bit of a hamstring issue that Fluker was dealing with. I mean, hamstring at 272, that's like a ham rope or a ham cord, not a string, for crying out loud. And I'm telling you, that's what you have to do. Take advantage of those veteran guys on the inside. These 3 guys made a huge difference, and watch the movement they get on the line of scrimmage right there, washing down that whole side. And then it's BYOB, bring your own blocker, let Mike Davis do the rest.
And Janikowski does the rest for the Seahawks, who now lead by a score of 17-10, as Mike Davis scoring his first touchdown of the year. And we'll be back in 30 seconds. And the penalty on the punt by Arizona was critical here, and prior to that had committed only 1 penalty. But Mike Davis, who has to handle the running back chores along with Rashad Penny, with Chris Carson out of action today. There is Carson, who gained 100 yards on 32 carries last week. But the Seahawks have come on and have rushed for an average of 5.5 yards per carry, 144 yards in all. So it was next man up so far for Seattle's running game. Brandon Williams will run it out here, and Williams gets hit hard, shy of the 25.
And here's Mike Davis. You talk about the running game right here. A little zone read. Russell Wilson holding the backside. Mike Davis taking advantage. There it is again. First touchdown. Watch Russell Wilson come in here, throw a block. I mean, dispensing justice. And then here's the last one. Just bury your head in there. Put your bean on somebody. Get yourself in the end zone, Mike Davis. And then get some rest, man. You got to have rest. You got to finish out the fourth quarter at that running back spot.
81 yards and a pair of touchdowns. 2 possessions and 2 3-and-outs so far for the Cardinals offense in the second half. Let's see if they change it. Rosen, under siege, completes the pass, and maybe they get about 4 yards to Derek Coleman, the fullback.
I'd love to see them get back on working their edges. Remember the Boot Kate game? They made a completion early in this game to Christian Kirk. Also the jet sweep. Get some of those edges. Spread that thing out. Give Josh Rosen the opportunity to get outside the pocket, feel comfortable, and eliminate half the field right here. Take advantage of that athleticism that he has.
Under a half a minute remaining in the third quarter. 2nd and 5, and the flags fly. Nazaire Jones apparently jumped.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 92. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So they got 5 yards on that pass to the fullback, and now the penalty gives them a first down.
And this is the area of the field, once you break the 30 as an offense, where inside the 30, you eliminate, 15, 20% of the things you can run. You feel a little bit better about opening the offense up as you approach the 40-yard line. So more plays available to you as an offense.
1st and 10, and time runs out. That will be the end of the third quarter.
This is the end.
Cardinals looking for their first win, and the Seahawks looking to get even on the season at 2-2. 17-10, Seattle has the lead as we go into the fourth. We begin the fourth quarter. Seattle getting 10 in the third to take the lead. Nick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, Jen Hale. It'll be first down at the 34 for Josh Rosen in his first NFL start. And he hands off to David Johnson, who doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. And Brandon Jackson, who was just brought up from the practice squad this week, makes the play in a loss of 1.
Well, you got to capture the line of scrimmage, and when you don't capture the line of scrimmage, you don't give your backs places to go. And when you get blown up like that, I mean, it makes everything. Penetration kills plays, especially penetration when you take your center and your guards back into the backfield, which is what happened right there, second down.
Like you say, second and long, really quote unquote not on schedule. But here's Josh Rosen trying to get some of it back, and unable to hold on is Ricky Seals-Jones. A lot of drops early by the Cardinal receivers, could have put them in better shape, and then they continue that malady. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Another week, another big game for Alvin Kamara so far. This 9-yard run, part of a 97-yard from scrimmage day he's got going right now. And his Saints lead the Giants 19-10 as they get towards the end of the third quarter. Pick Mark and Jen.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. It'll be 3rd and 11. Formation for Rosen on 3rd and 11. And the pass is incomplete. They had 2 receivers in the same neighborhood, Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk. To no avail. It'll be 4th down and a punting situation. Andy Lee will come on.
Well, again, put yourself behind the chains. Have a first down run that nets you -1, and now you're in trouble with a rookie quarterback, putting that much pressure on him, and drops, and it continues for the Arizona Cardinals.
Tyler Lockett is back deep, and a fair catch called for on the 18. Well, the Seattle Seahawks keeping Josh Rosen and that offense really off the field. They've controlled the ball beautifully. Talking about milestones, Russell Wilson, if he can get the win today, leading the Seahawks, will tie Matt Hasselbeck for the most career wins for a quarterback. Meanwhile, it's 17-10, 1st and 10 at the 19 for the Seahawks. And here is Mike Davis as a receiver, and Mike Davis barrels his way for a first down and more. He's having a whale of a game. Remember, he started the last 5 games for Seattle last year. Wound up as their second leading rusher and needs a breather here. Gets 16.
Yeah, get the big fellas. Get the screen going right here. Pressure watch 64. Sweezy out in front. Gets on a little guy. You always want to take on the little guys, right? Pound him in the ground a little bit. That's Deone Buchanan. Sweezy really finding a home at left guard. Started his first game there ever last week.
Is he ever?
Is really playing well.
Rashad Penny spells Davis and doesn't get as much success as Bené Ben-Wickery brings him down right near the line of scrimmage.
When you're asking your corners to come up and make plays in the backfield, when you're selling out like that, just that wear and tear on the cornerbacks on that defensive secondary, that gives you opportunities in the passing game. Maybe throw a double move on somebody. Try to go ahead and get yourself a chunk play here in the throwing game.
2nd down and 9. And the pitch going to Penny. And he is pushed out of bounds by Ben Wickery after the short game, bringing up 3rd down and long for Seattle. Still plenty of time. Just early here in the 3rd quarter, but the Cardinals are looking to stop the Seahawks, give their offense some breathing room so they can do something.
Well, pivotal stop here, and you have to think about this. This Cardinals team has not had momentum since they came out of the locker room in the 2nd half. Remember, they got a stop in the 1st quarter. That gave them the momentum to take a lead and to carry that lead into the locker room at halftime. So far, haven't had any momentum. This could be a huge stop for the Cardinals.
3rd down and 6, and the timeout called by the Seahawks. They have only 1 remaining. Following the Seattle timeout, it is 3rd down and 6. Seahawks 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions today. Mike Davis in motion to the right. And the flag is down. Golden may have jumped. And if that's the case, the Seahawks would need only 1 more yard for a first down.
infraction. Defense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Critical penalty right here.
Well, here it is. I mean, he's just going to jump offside. You can see him in the neutral zone, drawing the offensive tackle offside. Now you're 3rd down and 1. And where do you go on 3rd down and 1? Same place you went at the goal line. Let's get the big fellas up front, give them an opportunity to come off the ball and go ahead and convert this first down.
3rd and 6 and 3rd and 1. Big difference for Russell Wilson. And Wilson can't find anything. Trying to ad-lib, but he's in trouble going backward. And his pass is going to be knocked away. 4th and 1, Tyler Lockett, and the ball was deflected. And now 4th and 1, and they're going to punt it away. So Steve Wilks' Cardinals dodge a bullet with the penalty to Golden.
Well, you should send if you're Steve Wilks, you should send a thank you note over to Pete Carroll. Thanks, I appreciate it, because you're big. You're averaging over 5 yards a carry. We haven't stopped you at all, and you're gonna throw the ball on 3rd down and 1.
He did, and he didn't make it. So the kick by Dixon and Kirk will let it bounce, and it'll be a touchback. And with 11:38 to go, the Cardinals down by a touchdown will get the ball on the 20-yard line. So while we have a moment, bring up to date on some early game headlines on an exciting week 4 in the NFL. How about Mitchell Trubisky? 6 touchdowns in that game. Titans taking out the Eagles in overtime. And the Cowboys beating the Detroit Lions. So the Cowboys lost to the Seahawks last week, come back and beat Detroit. The Bears, I don't know, they may be for real, Mark.
They're playing well right now, and love their head coach, Nagy, what he's got going on out there. Really creative. They won a tight one here last week.
First down, and Josh Rosen with time, and Rosen lofts it, and it's going to be caught by Ricky Seals-Jones. What touch did Rosen have on that pass? 31 yards.
There you go. Ricky Seals-Jones gets an outside release, little double move as he runs down the rail. And look at that ball delivered right between the 8 and the 6. Josh Rosen coming back to the backside. That's beautifully executed. Pressure, takes a shot, and that's what will endear you to your guys on offense. You're willing to stand in there, take a shot. We better go make a catch for you. We haven't done it all game to this point.
The only first down, other than the penalty first down that they gained in the second half, and the ball bobbled, and Rosen taking off and throws the ball away. So there was some alertness by the rookie.
And speaking of things that guys love, as a former offensive lineman, all right, bad snap, bail us out, scoop the ball up, but don't run out of bounds and take a sack. Throw the ball away. That's the only stat we ever get penalized for, is those sacks. So throw the ball away, give us 2nd down and 10, Don't lose 4 yards. Another savvy play, but another play that endears Josh Rosen to his offensive line.
Cardinals on the Seahawk 49. 2nd and 10. Play action and the pressure is on, and on a screen pass to David Johnson. Johnson inside the 30-yard line. David Johnson is going to be wrestled down by Bobby Wagner after a huge gain, and a first down to the 19-yard line for the Cardinals. Another 30-yard pickup here.
And that is great, coming off the play action right here, hiding behind the line of scrimmage. And I love the patience that David Johnson showed. Slow down a little bit, let the big fellas get out there, let the hog mollies get out there. Mason Cole, the center, look at him run down there. Look at the rookie run down. Those rookies are fresh-legged, you know. Those guys haven't played a lot of NFL football. Let him get down there. Let him clear a path for you. Beautiful execution on the play.
3 tight ends line up for the Cardinals now. First down and 10, and here is Johnson again. And penetrating is Mingo, Barkevious Mingo, a former #1 pick, and a loss on the play of 3 yards.
And that was actually really nice design, something you haven't seen Mike McCoy run, the flip play. And you've got a tight end out there spread out, Ricky Seals-Jones. You miss a block, and again, self-inflicted wounds. Now you're 2nd down and long again with a play that was really well executed, well designed, and you just failed to get a block on the edge.
Chase Edmonds replaces David Johnson on 2nd down and 13. Cardinals in field goal range, but they're looking for more, trailing by 7. They fake a handoff to Edmonds. Rosen looking down the field, and his pass is going to be caught for the touchdown by Chad Williams. Josh Rosen wants the ball. It's his first NFL touchdown pass. And on the other side, a shaken up Earl Thomas for the Seahawks. So a 22-yard pass to Chad Williams.
And always starts with this pocket up front. When you can protect your quarterback, you've got an opportunity. Look at these guys. There's 7 guys in protection. You're running just a 2-man route out there. Beautifully thrown in a low spot where the safety can't get over the top to make the play. Look how down low that is. Chad Williams on the touchdown.
Tell you what, Rosen has made some 2 brilliant throws in this drive. One to Ricky Seals-Jones and that one to Williams. In his first NFL start, Cardinals trading up to 6th or to 10th from 15 in the first round of the draft.
You watch them, they kept their tight ends in, they kept their running backs in. I believe that was 2 guys out on that route right now. They're going to lock it up. Josh Rosen was able to survey the whole situation. Yeah, this is not good.
Earl Thomas, who reported to the Seahawks, not happy with his contract. Possibility that he could be traded at any time, but has played brilliant football for them with 3 interceptions on the year, and they're going to take him off. So 2 really tough injuries for the Seahawks. The rookie tight end Will Dissly carted off in the first quarter, and now Earl Thomas.
Pete Carroll is really, as he's out there checking on his player, talked about the process and building that relationship. And here's Thomas.
Yeah, before he even got to the player. And many of the Cardinals are going over to wish the best, including Patrick Peterson. You know, it's a fraternity down there, you know as well as anyone, Mark.
It is, and building that relationship and the process of doing that. Pete Carroll was like, Earl Thomas wants to be the best player ever. at his position. Who wouldn't want to coach that guy? Yeah, we've had some contract disputes, and the business side has certainly cropped up, but who wouldn't want to have and be able to coach a guy that desires to be the best player at his position in the history of this league? And Earl is a phenomenal young man.
You know, that brings us to Pete Carroll, and what a great job he's done. He's seen the transformation of this defensive team with all of the great names before, and then he has a Michael Kendricks who is playing, waiting for an appeal for a suspension, and he has Earl Thomas who wasn't happy with his contract. And to bring this team together like he has, you know, shows I think really great coaching skills and great human skills that Pete Carroll has.
You're in the relationship business regardless of what you're doing, and if you're not in the relationship business, you're going out of business, and that's one thing Pete is totally bought into.
Phil Dawson to look to tie the game, and Dawson's kick is good, so we're tied at 17. First NFL touchdown pass from the rookie from UCLA, Josh Rosen. Good play by Chad Williams at the other end, and we're tied at 17 here in the desert. Talk about the house of horrors for the Seahawks here with the injury here to Earl Thomas last year on a Thursday night. Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor both were hurt in the same game. So the woes go on for Seattle here. Rashad Penny on the return brings it out past the 20-yard line. And for more on Earl Thomas, let's check in with Jen Hale.
Well, Dick, that cart that you saw bring Earl Thomas back to the locker room delivered him directly to the x-ray room. Physicians are x-raying that lower left leg. We'll let you know when we know more.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, Red Sea.
So let's see how the Seahawks respond to the Cardinals' scoring drive.
I think one of the things you have to really worry about here, the Seahawks have not had enough time to push the ball down the field. It's one of those situations we want to run the ball, set up the play action. Can they protect if they have to push the ball down the field without the running game? There's plenty of time to continue to run it now in a 17-17 ball game.
Mike Davis trying to turn the corner, breaks 2 tackles actually, gets about 7 yards when all is said and done.
And they've done a great job attacking the edges of this defense, attacking the corners, attacking the safeties. As this is a Cardinals team that plays a lot of sub-package, meaning taking a linebacker out, putting a smaller guy in there, a Budda Baker off the edge, then Wickery off the edge. And so that's something they do a ton of. But Deone Bucannon is also a very small guy.
Second down and 3 on Seattle's 28. Mike Davis bounces off a defender, dives forward for a yard. Good penetration by Robert Nkemdiche, making the play on Davis, who's approaching 90 yards rushing in the game. But now it'll be third down, and the crowd should be pretty loud here.
Comes the pressure off the edge.
And the pass incomplete. Fourth down coming up, and the Seahawks are now 0 for 9 on third down conversions. Chandler Jones putting the pressure on Wilson. Big stop by the Cardinals there, Mark.
Huge stop, and you're talking about pressure coming off the edge, off the top. Another hit on Russell Wilson. Only about 2 seconds to let go of that ball.
Michael Dixon kicking, and Kirk feels it, did not call for the fair catch, and is down at the 24. Very risky situation. Justin Coleman was there. Last drive for Josh Rosen ended up in a touchdown.
Well, here it is. Josh Rosen, clean in the pocket, delivers a strike. to Ricky Seals-Jones. Heads up, scooping the ball out like a shortstop, just throwing it away here. The screen to David Johnson, lets his offensive line get out in front, do some hunting, and then watch the vision as he just continues to walk around in that pocket, well protected, sees it come open over the top of his offensive lineman, delivers a strike down low so nobody can defend it. Josh Rosen puts together a great scoring drive.
11 for 22, 141 yards, and the touchdown. And a first down on the 24, tie game. And Rosen in trouble, throws it away, and there was a mix-up there, apparently.
Busted assignment. He in the back, not on the same page. He opens up, expected to go one way. Uh-oh. There's David Johnson. Everybody else, everybody was going to the right. Josh Rosen was going to the left.
And once again escapes trouble. 2nd and 10. Over the middle, and the catch is made at the 29 by David Johnson with Frank Clark, the pass rusher, in coverage that time. A pickup of 5. 3rd down coming up.
Couple of blitzers off the right side of the formation. Defensive back, linebackers coming on Josh Rosen, stands in the pocket, delivers a strike on the little shallow crossing route by the running back as he bursts out of the backfield. Nice poise by Josh Rosen, taking a hit, delivering a strike to make it 3rd and manageable.
David Johnson split to the bottom of your picture on 3rd down and 5, and Johnson, the receiver, gets the first down to the 35. Wagner on the tackle. They picked up 6, and they keep the ball today. They are 4 for 10 on 3rd down conversions.
Well, they're just going to run this right here in a slant inside. You see him get in there, clear it. Now it's short, but nice spin. Anticipation of the hit coming, spinning back outside to get that first down. And a drive is starting to go down the field slowly but surely with a bad start, with a missed handoff, and yet you're able to convert in 2 downs.
See what the Seahawks can do to try to curtail this momentum that the Cardinals have right now. They're going to give it to Johnson for a couple of yards. And time for a game break. Once again, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, like Arizona, the Raiders still looking for their first win of the season. Derek Carr hooking up with Jordy Nelson for a 19-yard score. And right now, they've got a chance to do it. Up 34-28 with 10.5 left to go in the 4th quarter. Dick, Mark, and Jen.
Now we've got a great one here with 5:20 to go in the 4th. 17-17, 2nd and 8. David Johnson, 62 yards as a runner, 41 yards as a receiver. And this pass going to be caught for the first down by Ricky Seals-Jones. Big catch as Rosen again threads the needle between a couple of defenders and gets 21 yards into Seahawk territory.
Well, they're just running a sail right to the edge from Ricky Seals-Jones. They block him up on man coverage. Bobby Wagner on the underneath coverage. I'm telling you what, that is a well-covered receiver, but look at this throw over the top of the linebacker in front of McDougal, the safety. You can't throw it any better than that. Look at Josh Rosen. Excitement. This kid is he's a confident kid.
What about his temperament? He smiles. He doesn't mind smiling, showing his emotions. First down on the 42 of the Seahawks. To Johnson, looking for running room, and he gets 2 yards. Kendricks was there.
Remember now, he was in a similar situation last week, came in the 4th quarter with about that much time left in the 4th quarter, asked to go on a drive and win a football game. Now, 17-17 ball game, end of the game, 4 minutes plus change. Go win this thing for us. I love the methodical nature. I love the fact that you're keeping the run alive right now, keeping that option, that run pass option mixture for Josh Rosen as he leads his team.
Keeps them off balance the way they're running that offense right now. 2nd down and 8. And here is Rosen. And he's going to the top, and it's caught by Kirk. Kirk dives to hope to get the first down, and it's close. See if he managed to get to the sticks. A 7-yard pickup to Christian Kirk, Rosen's buddy from Scottsdale.
Well, he's just getting off coverage right here. He runs to the flat, spins around, dives for it. I think that back foot hits just out of bounds before he can extend the ball. Right there, so close.
3rd down and 1. Tell you what this thing is doing also for the Cardinals is keeping their defense off the field.
Right. Fullback.
3rd and 1.
That's
and
what I
David
like.
Johnson getting the first down to the 31-yard line.
A 3rd down and 2 last week. What do? They pull people. They run an outside play. Get stuck in the backfield for -3. Here's a young coach in Steve Wilkes, and a coordinator said, we're going to learn from our mistakes last week. We're not going to do that same thing. Straight downhill with a fullback right there.
And look at the difference between the first 3 weeks and today, offensively, doubling their first downs. And everywhere you go, they've almost doubled their output or better. It'll be a first down as we wind down to 3 minutes to go in regulation. Ball at the 31 of the Seahawks. Kirk in motion to the slot lower, and they hand it off to Johnson. And he picks up a yard or so.
And that clock just continues to run. No sense in hurrying up. Take your time.
Keep in mind the Cardinals have all 3 of their timeouts left, but not Pete Carroll. They only have 1 timeout left. So if they fall behind here, and we have 2.5 minutes right now, that 1 timeout could hurt them if the Cardinals can take a lead here.
2nd down and 8, under center, a little play action, maybe a boot keep game here by Josh Rosen.
10th play of the drive, 2nd down and 8, David Johnson. And it looks like they're getting close to the field goal range as we're going to come down to the 2-minute warning. 17-17 the score. NFC West battle. The Cardinals trying to win their first game. Seahawks trying to make it 2 in a row. Something has got to give. Can the rookie quarterback make it happen for Arizona? The veteran on the left, Russell Wilson, the master of fourth quarter comebacks. Josh Rosen in his first NFL start, trying to get 1 under his belt here. It'll be 3rd down and 6 with 2 minutes to go in regulation on the 27-yard line. This drive began on the 24-yard line. 10 plays, 50 yards to this point. And they hand it off to Johnson, and he'll be stopped by Justin Coleman, bringing up 4th down, and Phil Dawson will come on for the field goal attempt, trying to give the Cardinals a 3-point lead. With 1:55 to go and only no timeouts left, as Seattle is out of timeouts. So here's Dawson, who hadn't even attempted a field goal at all in the first 3 games, Mark. Now coming on, he's 1 for 2 today, missed from 50, hit from 23. This will be from 45 to give the Cardinals a lead.
Guy's been doing it for a long time, Dick. No pressure. Phil Dawson in his 20th year.
And Dawson's kick is no good. Phil Dawson misses a 45-yard field goal, and the score remains tied at 17, and new life for the Seahawks as Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson confer.
Snap looks good. Hold is good.
It never had a chance. Off to the right all the way. I wonder how his footing was when he kicked the ball. I'm not so sure.
Well,
That there might have been a little bit of a slip there.
so far, kicking in this game has not been very good, to say the least.
So now the Seahawks from the 35, and Davis with Wilson as a blocker gets a first down close to midfield. And now the Seahawks, with no timeouts remaining, get 13 yards. They're trying to get in field goal range to try to win it. '23 fourth quarter or overtime game-winning drives for that man. Completion and about 8 or 9 yards to Tyler Lockett as they hurry up as we get close to a minute to go.
It's all the time in the world for Russell Wilson. He is not, I mean, look at him. He's just orchestrating right now.
He's done this before. Rashad Penny, and Penny ducks his head down and gets a first down inside or at the 40-yard line of the Cardinals with under a minute remaining. There's Janikowski, who has missed 2 field goals today. This will be 58 from right here. And the pass thrown underneath to Baldwin, and it's caught. Trey Boston immediately on him. Clock runs. Close to 30 seconds to go.
And this is where they said they want to have Doug Baldwin fresh at the end of the game for these situations.
And the handoff to Rashad Penny. And 20 seconds to go. They have no timeouts remaining. They've got to do something to stop the clock. Right now, it would be a 52-yard field goal for Janikowski.
Going to have to spike the ball here.
And then send in Janikowski. And they do that with 4 seconds on the clock. So a big chance to redeem himself is Sebastian Janikowski, and a chance to give the Seahawks a win. This will be a 52-yard field goal try. He missed from 52 as well as 38 before he connected from 40 yards out.
Well, the 20-year veteran pushed his field goal to the right. Now the youngster gets an opportunity, only 19 years in the league for Janikowski.
Here it is. And this kick is going to be good, and the Seahawks win it. They mob Janikowski, who redeems himself in royal fashion here in Arizona. And for Josh Rosen, a disappointing loss, but a sense of what's to come for the Cardinals. The final score, the Seahawks 20, the Cardinals 17, as Sebastian Janikowski kicks a 52-yard field goal to win it on the final play.
Snap good, hold good, puts the boot through it. Look at that, picture perfect as he splits the uprights. That's the way you respond to a tough day as a kicker.
Phil Dawson missed, Janikowski made, and Russell Wilson is a winner once more. For Josh Rosen, who completed 15 of 27 for 180, he had a touchdown, but I think there are better days ahead for the Cardinal offense. But right now, Seattle wins it. They are now 2-2 on the year, and the Cardinals drop their 4th in a row, 0-4. It's been 32 years since they've gone 0-4 to start the year. We'll be right back right after this.